Hey, what's up, tubers? It's Tony, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about signs of a failing alternator. Today's topic will apply to any car or truck that you drive out there today, and I want you guys to know that everything that I'm going to talk about, I have already seen and or have experienced with a failing alternator. We're going to use this 2017 Hyundai Elantra for demonstrational purposes only today, okay? So let's say you're driving down the street and your vehicle suddenly cuts off. What could possibly be wrong? Well, you could be out of gas, that's number one. You could have a failing or failed crankshaft position sensor. You could have a failing or failed camshaft position sensor. And when these sensors lose the signal to the vehicle's computer, the car will then just cut off, okay? You can always Google what does a camshaft or crankshaft position sensor do, and you'll get an explanation so that you understand this better. Here are signs of a failing alternator. I already said the vehicle may cut off. If the vehicle cuts off, you may be able to start the vehicle, but you'll notice that you have no accelerator power, meaning you're putting your foot on the gas pedal to try and make the vehicle move. It won't move. You may also notice that you cannot shift the vehicle into drive or shift the vehicle into reverse. You may be able to shift the vehicle into drive and shift it into reverse, and you may notice still that you have no accelerator power. Those are signs of a failing alternator. You may notice the battery light's on, okay? That's always the number one clue that the alternator's failed. You may notice that the front windows may go up or down, but the rear windows won't do anything. Signs of a failing alternator, okay? The battery in every car has one job and one job only. A fully charged battery provides power to the starter to turn the engine over to get the engine running. Once the engine is running, the battery's job is over. It's the alternator's job to power everything in your vehicle. The engine, lights, heat, air conditioning, wipers, radio, etc. Okay? So if you're having a problem with some of these things in your vehicle, more than likely it may be a failing alternator. If your vehicle cuts off on you for whatever reason, always check, make sure that the battery terminals are tight. If you have access to the alternator, make sure it's in there. Look for broken or damaged wires, okay? Now, unbeknown to most people, when the alternator dies, the battery light's on, guys. If the battery light is on, you need to go see a mechanic ASAP if the car is still running, or pull off to the side of the road before you're left stranded. Unbeknown to most people, that when the alternator fails, you're driving off of the very limited battery power, okay? The alternator failed. It has no way of recharging itself. It's the alternator's job to put power back into the battery after you use the battery and start the car 1,000 gazillion times. The alternator puts power back into the battery. But if the alternator's failing, it can't do that. When it fails, again, you're driving off of the limited power of the battery. If it's wintertime or summertime, you're running a heat or air. If it's nighttime, you're running a heat, air, and or lights, radio. You're going to drain the battery even quicker if it's nighttime outside, okay? So always keep in mind that if the battery light blinks or comes on, check the alternator's connection if you have access to the alternator, because some alternators are in a dark spot. Otherwise, go see a mechanic as soon as you possibly can, because again, I've seen all of this happen. So if your vehicle cuts off on you in the middle of the street, I'm going to give you a temporary fix, okay? And I'm not saying drive a block or two down the street. Get a long pair of jumper cables. Get someone with a vehicle that's running with a good battery. Hook the jumper cables to that vehicle. Then hook the jumper cables to the vehicle with the failing alternator. If you drive slowly, you can pull the car with the failed alternator stuck in the street off the road. You just have to make sure you guys don't run into each other, and you may need a third person to tell you guys exactly how close you are, okay? So that's it, guys. I hope you understand the signs of a failing alternator, what your battery's job is in your vehicle, what your alternator's job in your vehicle is. And also, with the vehicle cut off on you, always look at the belt. Make sure the belt didn't break, because if the belt broke or if it's loose, then it's not going to help the alternator work correctly so that it can charge the battery. Okay? All right, folks, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.